Hey guys, welcome to today's video. We're gonna be testing out a $10 brush set, like the whole freaking thing. It's a faux mink brush set. That's how it's marketed online. This is from Shop Miss A or Shop Misa. Gosh, dang it. I'm fired. This is the faux mink brush set for $10. Now this site is a dollar website where you can purchase dollar makeup. I have done 2 videos now on this site. I will link them both below. And I have discovered, surprisingly, a few things that worked really, really well. And the one that surprised me the most was actually a faux beauty blender. It was a sponge that's like this, but really, really soft. They were sold out of it for a while because everybody fell in love with this sponge and it was only $1 instead of 20 bucks for the beauty blender. So I am really intrigued to actually try out their brushes. If I can create a full glam look using only these, or if I'm gonna have blending issues, but I thought it would be just kind of fun to figure this out together. So why don't I just start by applying foundation. I'm actually gonna use their foundation brush today. It's kind of funny to me that they are labeled as like F23. Like it almost feels like a Morphe or a Sigma brush, but you don't really have an explanation as to like what the F23 is. I need primer first. This is something that I am going to apply with my fingertips. This is my Tarte Smoothing Primer. This is the Clean Slate Timeless Smoothing Primer. Look at that nail polish. Oh my gosh, you guys. I kind of love this. I have not worn a bright nail color like this in a long time. This I received in PR when I did my PR unboxing. I'll link that video below as well. I'll just link so many videos. This is the Royal to a Fault polish from KB Shimmer. She sent over a bunch of polish and I was so inspired to try out something a little more bold and really just very bright, but deep in color at the same time. Okay, so the first thing I wanna do is apply some foundation. I'm gonna apply my Sephora 10-Hour Wear Foundation. I am going to include 1 drop of beauty oil to kind of thin it out. I'm just going to pick up product off of here and just go straight in. This is such a nice long wear foundation that gives you really good coverage and just stays put for a really long time. I'm so impressed with this. So clearly this is not a Clarisonic brush head. This is not my beauty blender. It's not an Artis brush. So it's not doing that great of a job, but it is doing its job, you know? Like this is not terrible. We're gonna put on some concealer and I am not gonna use my beauty blender and that's gonna suck. I always use a beauty blender, so I am just gonna see what happens. I'm gonna use my Kim Kardashian concealer. I have continued using this and I really, really like it. I have paired it with my Coty Airspun powder and I really, really enjoy that as well. So I think my favorite bit of the whole system is this concealer. All right, so if you don't use a sponge, you definitely want to not use a lot. All right, not bad. This is not bad. I'm not hating it. Now I'm gonna take this brush right here, the F24, and I'm gonna take my Brighten Up powder from Essence, and I'm gonna make sure that I pat out my creases, and then I'm gonna set. This actually worked pretty well. All right, I'm gonna take the larger fluffy brush and I am gonna set the rest of my face with a little bit of Coty Airspun. Not a lot, I just kind of wanna dust everything, lock in that foundation. So I'm gonna go in here. So whether I'm using a brush or a velour puff, I always like to do pressing motions. You notice I'm not sweeping powder, I'm just pressing and patting. And I feel like that helps your pores to look smaller as far as setting the face with powder. Now, when I do bronzer, I like to do more of a sweeping motion, which I don't seem to have another brush here for bronzer. So we're just gonna stick with this. I'm gonna go into my Galactic bronzer right here. This is a matte bronzer in the shade Cabo, and I'm gonna grab it right on the tip there, smack off some of that excess, and just go ahead and start bronzing. By the way, I am full on using products that I know work really well with my normal brushes because I was curious to see just like if these brushes were total crap or if you could make it work. This brush is not the greatest. Oh, it's making things look a little bit streaky and blotchy. Don't love that. So normally I said I like to go like in sweeps, but with this brush, it's just not happening. So I'm doing that dabbing motion even with my bronzer. She's a little bit blotchy. She's just a tiny bit blotchy. I have this kind of angled brush here. I don't know what I am going to use for blush. Do I even have a blush in front of me? Come on, ding dong. We're gonna go in with a little bit of Almay. I really love this blush. This is the Smart Shade in Coral, and I'm just gonna swirl right on in here. Pray for the very best. I almost feel like sometimes, you know, like with your eyes, you can make it work with kind of crappier brushes. Even though I like to do really precision, beautiful blended eye looks, I almost feel like the crappier brushes on the face make it so much more noticeable as far as like what's blotchy and what won't blend. This is not working for me. I am gonna take just a little bit of the brightener powder just to kind of attempt to blend out some of those edges a little. I'm gonna use this F26 to highlight, and we're just gonna like pack it on and get my complexion glowing to distract from any of the potential blotchiness. So I have it, I mean, this is a big brush to be highlighting with, so I'm gonna be very careful to kind of really pull it where I want the highlight and be very gentle. That looks nice though. So I'm using my Maybelline Master Chrome in Rose Gold. All right. She is glowing. I'm gonna hit the shoulders too, because why not? More is more. I do wanna contour my nose just a tiny little bit, so I'm gonna go ahead and take this domed brush, which I have plans to use in the crease of my eye, and I'm gonna take a little bit from the Shade and Light palette, and I'm just going to very lightly graze the side of my nose. When your nose contour goes bad, it just kind of F's up everything else. Gosh, dang it. Okay, I need my foundation brush. We're gonna get rid of this Crisis. This is a good tip. You can always use whatever you applied your foundation with to kind of correct a little bit. See, massive improvement right there. It's like magic. And you kind of do the back and forth thing. All right, with the excess that I have on this brush, I am gonna go into the crease. You know, this is not a bad crease brush, actually. I'm really liking that color for my crease shade. Like, I really like that. I'm actually gonna go in a little bit more and go on my lower lash line. Okay. Guys, I'm so ready for summer. It is so nice outside, and like, people in my neighborhood are playing music, and it just feels like someone should start up the barbecue, and I want to hop in the pool, and it's just like that kind of like sunshiny day here in California. It's so distracting. I'm like full on wearing like my little like jean shorts. Sorry, yelling in the microphone. I want to put on my earrings now that my foundation is done. I've gotten in better habit of making sure that I don't wear earrings while I'm putting on foundation, because I kind of try to get a little bit of foundation on my ears so that there's not like that separation in tone, you know? Yes. Okay, so now I want to throw on some lips because I don't need a brush for that. I am using the Huda Beauty lip liner in Bombshell. I'm also going to use the lip powder from Kokie Cosmetics. This is in the shade Infamous. That is so pretty, right? I was rewatching some of my old videos, just kind of trying to get a vibe on things I loved in the past and talked about in the past. And I was watching my Kokie Hot or Not, and I was like, oh my gosh, like those lip products are so good. Why don't I wear that color more often? So that's what inspired me. I'm gonna let this dry down, and then I do wanna put another lipstick on top in the center and a gloss, so I'm gonna get a little bit complicated with the lips. I'm gonna take a little bit of Wet n Wild in Clothing Optional and just kind of dab this right in the center. And then for my final trick with my lips, I am gonna take a clear gloss. This is the Skin by Dimitri James Lip 6 Times Gloss Amplifying Lip Gloss. Let's see if it does anything magic. Just kidding, it takes a minute. Okay, we'll see if it does anything. Eyebrows are on because I used a pencil and I did not need a brush for that. So we're actually doing pretty good. I like my makeup right now, and we're going to take a stroll into an eyeshadow palette and see what we can do with the few brushes that I have left. So I have another brush that is fluffy like a crease brush. This is the E135, and I wanted to go ahead and pull out an old friend. This is the original Naked palette. I have not used this in a while, and in my mind I was kind of like, why not? I want to use something that I know works. So I thought we would just go in here. I'm going to go into the shade Buck, and we're just going to further blend out the crease. Ooh, that picked up a lot of product. So these brushes are pretty soft. They're just stiff. Like, you have to really make sure that you take your time blending because they want to disperse a lot of color straight away because they're not like soft and fluffy. I think I have the crease pretty well done. I'm going to take this brush right here, the E137, and I'm going to go into the shade Toasted. Oh, I forgot what a beautiful shade that is. I love that. Okay, so clearly this brush is not giving me like a ton of precision. I wish it was a little bit smaller and flat so I could really like pack that color on, but we're just making it work. I now want to go in with this brush right here. This is the E139. I'm going to go into Hustle, and I'm going to focus this on the outer edge. And I'm going to have to go back in with one of the crease brushes and really blend out the corner itself because it's not really wanting to blend. So just kind of do the back and forth thing. That's what you can do when you have brushes that are kind of crappy, is just lay down whatever color you need to, go back over top of it and blend. Okay, something great about doing this is I am like falling in love with the original Naked palette once again. These colors are just so flattering. They're so nice. This was like my #1 palette that I wanted so badly right when I first started YouTube. This was it. This is what everybody had. It's what all the cool kids had. All right, I'm gonna go into Creep and define the outer edge just even a little bit more. Taking the same brush right here. This is the E139 and packing it a little bit closer to my lash line. Okay, I do have one brush left. This is the E38. I'm gonna go into Virgin and I'm gonna highlight underneath my brow bone. I'm gonna go back to that 139. I'm gonna take Hustle and I'm going to go as close as I can to my waterline. I'm gonna go on the outer edge and pull about halfway through on the lower lash. And I'm gonna clean this brush off. I have one of these little brush cleaners. I actually picked this up at Marshall's. If you recently saw my haul from Marshall's, TJ Maxx, Nordstrom Rack, what we should do. Urban Decay, Peri Para. Oh my gosh, I can't focus. I am still using these cleansing wipes. I forgot to mention I got this too. It's like one of those little brush cleaners that you don't have to use any spray. You can just use that to get the pigment off. I did sanitize these brushes before using them. I do want to mention that's really important when you purchase new brushes. Make sure you give them a good, at least spritz with a brush cleaner. This is the E139. I'm going to go into Sin, and I am just going to pop this right on the inner portion of my lower lash line. I actually think this turned out quite nice. So I'm gonna apply a little bit of mascara and then we'll just about be done. I am not gonna put on false lashes or liquid liner today. What I am gonna do is take the Anastasia Beverly Hills Waterproof Gel Liner in Dark Side, and I am going to line my waterline on the upper lash line. And this is a trick to just add a little intensity and frame the eye, but then you don't have any line on your actual lash line. And we're gonna take the Estee Lauder Sumptuous Bold Volume Lifting Mascara. We're not using a lash curler today, so we're gonna count on the mascara to do a little bit of the lifting for us. I'm gonna go ahead and apply a couple coats. That is transferring a little bit. Gosh dang it. And I'm gonna take a little spritz of Urban Decay All Nighter. And my friends, whew, we are finished. So here is my completed look using only a brush set that cost $10. I think that you can see for yourself that you can absolutely get a beautiful look done using a brush set like this. Obviously, I have preferences when it comes to my brushes. I think this is a lot better than some of the kits that you would spend like $20, $30 for at the drugstore. So if you are in need of something to just be able to get the product on your face and you want to use your fingertips and a sponge maybe, and just have these to blend out better than what you would get for free in a blush compact or sometimes in a shadow compact, like the little sponge tip applicators. Yes, they'll pack on product, but they won't get in the crease and really blend things out. You get 10 brushes, they're $1 a piece. I don't think you can do better than that. So I don't hate these. I don't think they will be replacing my everyday brush situation, but I'm happy that I tried this out because I proved to myself that I could still do a pretty look even on a budget of $10 for brushes. There you have it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please hit that like button. I always appreciate that so much, and I hope you are having a good one. I will see you all in tomorrow's video. Thank you so much for watching. Mwah.